You don't need a denied visa to be banned from the US anymore. You don't even need to break a rule. In 2025, travelers are being quietly blocked, flagged by systems they can't see for reasons they'll never be told. It's not just where you're from, it's where you've been, what you've posted, or what some algorithm thinks you might do. And the most alarming part? Some of these bans aren't just targeting tourists, they're starting to catch Americans too. Stick around until number 6. It's the one even US citizens are being swept into. And before we dive in, tap that like button and subscribe. Because in a world where borders are closing in quietly, staying informed isn't optional. It's your only defense. Number 1. Visa Overstay Crackdown. In 2025, overstaying a US visa can get you banned. But the consequences don't stop with the person who overstayed. They ripple outward through entire nations. Under Section 243D of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the U.S. can penalize countries with high visa overstay rates by suspending or limiting visa approvals. And it's not theoretical. This law has been used. Countries like India, Brazil, and Venezuela have been named in official DHS reports for their overstay rates. The result? Visa quotas slashed. Applications stalled for months. Some categories suspended entirely. But now, something else is happening. Travelers from these countries, many with spotless records, are being pulled aside, interrogated, or even denied entry, not because of what they've done, but because of what others before them did. One Nigerian businessman said he was stopped at JFK, held for hours, and never told why. Valid visa. No red flags. Just a system that quietly said, stop. To many travelers, it no longer feels like enforcement. It feels like profiling at scale. And when entire populations are punished for patterns, the border stops feeling like a checkpoint and starts feeling like a verdict. Number 2. Social media surveillance. Your Instagram likes, your tweets, that sarcastic meme you shared in 2021. In 2025, these digital footprints could quietly cost you entry to the US. Since 2019, visa applicants have been required to disclose their social media handles. But reports now suggest that AI tools are being used to scan and analyze online behavior for red flags. Things like political dissent, extremist language, or even tone that could be interpreted as anti-American. While official criteria are not public, several travelers have reported visa delays or denials after sharing controversial content, especially on topics like US foreign policy or global protests. In one case, a student from the Philippines was reportedly asked about her environmental activism during a visa interview, raising questions about whether public protest content is being tracked. There's no official list of banned words, no transparent appeal process, just a vague sense that your online presence is being watched and judged. In the US, freedom of speech is a constitutional right. But at the border, your tweets might speak louder than your passport. How much would you be comfortable sharing if another country scanned your profile? Number 3. Dual nationality denials. Holding 2 passports used to mean double the access. But now, it can mean double the scrutiny. In 2025, dual nationals of countries under US sanctions, like Iran, Syria, or North Korea, are still barred from using USDA, even if their primary passport is from Canada or Europe. This rule has been in place for years. But what's changing is how this scrutiny is expanding. Travelers have reported being flagged not just for holding dual nationality, but for past citizenships, family ties, or previous travel through flagged regions. One case involved a French-Iranian tech executive who was denied boarding for a US business trip despite traveling on a French passport. Reports suggest that a past trip to Tehran triggered the rejection. The official reason? Security risk. But to the traveler, it felt more like profiling. You don't need to hold current citizenship. You just need a data point in your past that matches a filter. And in 2025, that filter is getting sharper with or without your consent. Number 4. Travel history flagging. In 2025, where you've been may matter more than who you are. US immigration systems now scan travel histories with increasing sophistication. If you visited countries flagged by the State Department, such as Syria, Lebanon, or even regions within China, you may be automatically flagged for additional screening or outright denial. Section 217-12 of the Immigration and Nationality Act already disqualifies USDA travelers who visited specific high-risk nations since February 2011. But now, reports suggest that border agents are applying this logic more broadly, especially when combined with AI-driven risk profiles. A Dutch citizen traveling on a valid visa was denied entry after visiting extended family in southern Lebanon. No criminal history, no alerts, just a recent stamp and a high-risk itinerary. What's more unsettling is that this flagging often happens before your flight, during pre-clearance, airline data sharing, or visa review. In a world where travel connects us, past movement is being treated like present danger. And if you're American, consider this. Would you accept being banned from Europe because you once vacationed in Cuba? Number 5. AI surveillance and tech ties. You don't need a criminal record. You just need to work in the wrong industry or carry the wrong phone. In 2025, the US has expanded its use of predictive algorithms and border enforcement. These systems analyze metadata like profession, education history, travel patterns, and according to leaked vendor presentations, even the software and apps installed on your device. While there's no public confirmation of specific tools, multiple academic and tech professionals have reported sudden visa rejections, particularly those in AI, drone technology, or advanced computing fields. One Indian software engineer shared that he was questioned at LAX about his employer's links to Chinese investors despite having no personal ties to those companies. There's growing concern that machine learning is being used not just for screening, but for prediction, flagging travelers based on perceived future risks rather than proven history. These systems don't need evidence, just probability. You don't need to be suspicious. You just need to look like someone who might be. And in 2025, that's enough to stop you at the gate. Number 6. Political activism and protest flags. What happens at a protest doesn't always stay at the protest. In 2025, multiple travelers have reported visa delays and secondary screening after participating in or being photographed at demonstrations abroad, particularly those critical of U.S. policy, military action, or multinational corporations. While no law explicitly bans protesters, immigration officials have broad discretion. Some activists have reported being questioned about specific causes or events during consular interviews, including climate rallies and pro-Palestinian marches. A Chilean student said her visa was delayed after appearing in a widely shared photo from a political protest. She wasn't arrested. She didn't speak. She just showed up. In today's world of facial recognition, geotagging, and AI-enhanced surveillance, attending a protest, even peacefully, can leave a digital footprint that lingers far beyond the event itself. There's no official blacklist, but the silence around these cases is telling. And for Americans watching, imagine being barred from Australia just for showing up at a protest in your own country. No charges, no violations, just a photo. That's the line we're quietly crossing. Number 7. Climate-based entry restrictions. The climate crisis isn't just changing the weather, it's changing who can travel. In 2025, a growing movement in U.S. and international policy circles is calling for carbon-linked travel restrictions. While not yet law in the U.S., lawmakers and environmental think tanks are exploring proposals that would prioritize visas for travelers from low-emission countries or penalize frequent flyers and corporate travelers from carbon-heavy regions. France has already considered restricting short-haul domestic flights. The EU is discussing a carbon passport concept, and major airlines are partnering with governments on carbon tracking initiatives. If adopted in the US, these ideas could lead to higher visa fees, extra documentation, or reduced access for travelers tied to fossil fuel industries or poor national climate ratings. The logic? Enforce environmental responsibility through border control. The risk? Penalizing travelers based on where they're from, not what they've done. You may live in a country with high emissions, but have a low personal footprint. Yet in a climate-scored future, that distinction might not matter. It's a noble goal wrapped in a dangerous precedent. So what does all of this really mean? The border's still open, but for many travelers, it doesn't feel that way anymore. This isn't just about policies. It's about how the world sees you and how data is quietly deciding who gets to move and who doesn't. Have you faced extra screening, unexpected delays, or strange questions at the US border? Drop your story in the comments because you're probably not alone. And if this video made you think, hit that like button and subscribe. Because what's happening quietly today might decide who gets in tomorrow.